Ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely huge. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. I have been telling you the Supreme Court would back Donald Trump over Jack Smith on almost every segment and back Trump on every conviction. So they're going to likely convict former President Trump, but those convictions will be overturned. And the reason they will be overturned is that the Supreme Court didn't even back the special counsel's request to determine whether a president, as president, performing a speech could be convicted of a crime. He performed a speech. That's it. And the Supreme Court told Jack Smith that they're not sure if he can be convicted. They're not certain if he can be convicted. They're not even certain he committed a crime. So what Jack Smith tried to do, the special counsel, is expedite a Supreme Court ruling that said that the special counsel's trial against Trump in D.C. was justified because he had committed crimes and that he could be convicted and go to prison because of those crimes. Not only did the Supreme Court not find that he committed any crimes, the Supreme Court said that because essentially they didn't even rule on the case, they didn't want to give the special counsel even the time of day. They said essentially they didn't want to, they rejected the request to hear any immunity dispute because there was no crime that they could see committed. It was a speech. You have to prove that there's a criminal act before you indict Trump. Hit subscribe, by the way, to this channel. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support this live stream, the super chat is below during the chat. If you want to support this live stream, your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Your super chat is greatly appreciated. So the Supreme Court was asked by the special counsel to basically state that Trump had committed a crime and that even presidents can be convicted of crimes. That's essentially what took place. Okay? He didn't commit a crime. He performed a speech. It was a demonstration that got out of hand. It wasn't a rebellion. The special counsel knows that they don't really have a case against Trump. Also, the special counsel wasn't appointed in the traditional manner. So many people are saying that it is illegal and should be disbanded immediately. But there was no, Pam, hello, disaffected, hello. Everyone here, hello. Thank you for tuning in. This was a live stream I wanted to do because the news, very, very important news. Tree Climber, hello. What Trump was able to do is the following. He is indicted by a special counsel trying to interfere in 24. The special counsel has no case. What they have is just pure media and, political partisanship and DC bureaucrats and prosecutors in the Justice Department trying to go after Trump. They tried to get some kind of justification to go after Trump. They tried to get a ruling by the Supreme Court that says that Trump could be prosecuted, that he could be imprisoned for the crimes he's accused of in Washington, D.C. Not only did the Supreme Court reject the special counsel's request, but they essentially rejected the special counsel's argument. The special counsel argued that he had committed crimes and that the Supreme Court should tell the world that Trump could be convicted and imprisoned for those crimes. They didn't even think that Trump committed crimes. They didn't even say that, a president can be convicted of crimes even if he is still president, and that's the only ruling on the matter. They didn't even say that. They refused to even hear the request. So this is a huge, huge, huge victory for Trump. Thank God, because it's such an obvious attempt at going after him. Okay? They needed to justify. See, they know that the Supreme Court will eventually overturn the ruling. They know that the Supreme Court will overturn New York, D.C., Atlanta's conviction. He'll be convicted in these venues. Florida, he probably won't be convicted because that's, the judge is not a liberal Democrat who just has it out, who basically, Florida, it's a trial about classified data. He was a president with the power to declassify. Okay? So he's not going to be convicted, especially when the precedent is that you could have private servers with top secret intel, which is what President Obama's Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, had. Okay? The issue here is that the special counsel needed to justify the allegations against Trump. Salt Team, hello. Braden, hello. Pamela, hello. Everybody here. Curtis Comics, hello. Awesome, hello. Tree Climber, Pam. Disaffected, everybody here, hello. Thank you for tuning in. And hit subscribe. Your super chat is greatly appreciated. And, this is really a huge, huge victory. If you look, let's just read this. When I can go on and on. But when you have Vox saying in big victory for Trump, the Supreme Court tells Jack Smith to go away. Trump wants to run out the clock on his criminal trial. The Supreme Court just gave him a significant assist. So when Trump regains the Oval Office, and everybody knows he's on his way to regaining the Oval Office, when he regains the Oval Office, the special counsel will be disbanded. Okay, so what they want to do is they want to get a conviction as soon as possible. This pushes the trial to June or July or August or even September. November, we decide on the president in 24. So this is huge, okay? But the thing is, let's just read this Vox article. Trump wants to run out the clock. Okay, so in a surprise move, not a surprise if you've watched this channel, the Supreme Court announced on Friday that it will not hear Donald Trump's claim that he is immune from prosecution for trying to steal 2020. He never did anything of the sort. Okay, what took place, ladies and gentlemen, was he was president, he performed a speech, and he had every right to perform a speech as president. He had every right to do so. Okay? A presidency is not divided into partisan, Democrat, Republican, campaigning, and then everything else for the people. It's all inclusive. If you have a Democratic president, you're going to have a lot of campaigning for the Democrat. Presidential monarchy! Profanity alerts time has come. Yes! Presidential monarchy! Go F yourself. Yes! President VR, go F yourself. Presidential monarchy, thank you. To my super chat, thank you so very much. Presidential monarchy, thank you so very, very much. Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy did exactly what he was supposed to do. There is nothing that Trump or Vivek Ramaswamy have in common with the 1930s and 1940s German leader. Absolutely nothing. You had Biden on a stage with a red background, a crimson background, blatant partisanship saying that our republic is at stake if the Republicans win. That wasn't for the good of the people. Presidential monarchy, exactly. Profanity alert. Thank you for being here so many years back. Who remembers profanity alert in the in the chat, let me know. And that was that was when you could have a profanity alert. You can't have that anymore on YouTube. But Presidential Monarchy, thank you. And Vivek Ramaswamy was so right. And so was Elon Musk when he said the same thing to the advertisers. But you can't. What they're trying to say is that Trump was not a president when he was still president. He had not yet left office. It was the beginning of January 2021. He had not yet left office. Presidential Monarchy, thank you again. Thank you again. And to the super chat, thank you. Trump had not yet left office. And they're trying to accuse him of not being a president, essentially campaigning. So when they said, well, he tried to contest the 2020, he tried to contest 2020, so therefore he wasn't a president, he wasn't performing his presidential duties. As long as he's president, it's not for any journalist or Democrat to decide what is presidential and what is partisan. It goes hand in hand. A Democrat is going to engage in partisan activity all the time as a president. Biden has all the time. He's going to help campaign for other Democrats like Biden has. Well, I don't even know if Biden has. I don't know what Biden's doing. But he's going to go after the other side. The prime example is Biden defending Hunter, or Biden in front of the White House with a crimson background with these ominous colored lights. Okay? And that's an obvious example of a partisan, blatantly partisan and shameful and shameless political stunt. Okay? So is that part of presidential duty and responsibility to warn the country about big bad Republicans? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not part of the president's duties to warn the country of big bad Republicans. But Biden did that. So what they're trying to do with Trump is they're trying to say, in January, when he was going through the courts, he had no right to perform that speech. He had no right to speak to his constituents. But a president speaks to his constituents all the time. You can't just pick and choose. You can't pick and choose what a president can do and what a president can't do. H-Toast, hello. You had me at profanity. Presidential Monarchy, hello. Thank you again. Thank you again. So that's another really absurd element. They're trying to say Trump wasn't president when he was president. He wasn't performing official duties as president, so therefore he doesn't get immunity. And the Supreme Court obviously doesn't want any part of that stupid argument. Okay? That is a part of the indictment against Trump, that he was no longer president. Does that make any sense to you, ladies and gentlemen? And to the super chat, thank you. Presidential Monarchy, thank you. Does that make any sense to you that he wasn't president while he was giving a speech? Okay? Merry Christmas, everybody, by the way. In a tremendous victory for Trump as his criminal trial for his attempt to remain in office. He didn't attempt to remain in office. He was contesting what he viewed to be a miscarriage of justice. He thought that they gave him the Bernie Sanders treatment. He believed that, and many people still do. Okay? They cheated Bernie Sanders. And Trump thought that he was doing the same. They did the same thing to him. And so, Andrew, I was not. So basically, what took place is he performed a speech. It was a demonstration that got out of hand, like every single demonstration that summer, and they're trying to criminalize and imprison. They're trying to criminalize his speech and imprison him in large part because they're saying he doesn't have immunity. He wasn't doing the duties of a president that day. He was just simply campaigning. But that's what a president does all the time. A president is always campaigning, even during his first day as president. So Trump's strategy since the special counsel brought a pair of federal indictments against him has been to delay this trial as much as possible. That's anyone's strategy, okay? That's anybody's strategy. If Trump is November, he will gain command and control of the Justice Department and can order to drop the criminal charges against. Yeah, of course. That's the whole point. He's going to drop all the charges when he's going to regain the Oval Office. Trump will become president again. Okay? If democracy functions, actually functions, and we don't have social media algorithms silencing speech, which, by the way, on a different note, they want to destroy Twitter, okay, X, which is absolutely hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious because Twitter is the greatest arrow that Democrats have, the greatest advantage. It's a public square that up until recently has been simply a mouthpiece for the Democratic Party. Okay, so if you take away Twitter, if you remove Twitter from the equation, they don't really have a starting point, a jump point to start banning words or arguments or, any news story that shows massive corruption, bribery, graft with Hunter and Joe, for example. The censorship started on Twitter. Okay, so that's the thing. Mark, thank you. Thank you so very much, Mark, for the kind words. So they're trying to say that Trump tarnished democracy because of a speech. And they're trying to also say that he wasn't president even though he was president. Isn't that completely absurd? This is another reason why the Supreme Court was like, nah, we're not going to look at it. That's ridiculous. The special counsel has to prove. Richard, thank you. Thank you, Richard Jack. Thank you. The special counsel has to prove that he wasn't president. Does that make any sense to you, ladies and gentlemen? The special counsel has to prove that when he performed the speech, he was no longer a president, even though he was still president. Okay, furthermore, you look, ladies and gentlemen, and they also have to prove. Randy! Happy Shabbat. Thank you, Randy! Thank you so very much. Greatly appreciated, and thank you. Happy Shabbat as well. Thank you. It's Friday night. Jewish people have a dinner on Friday night called Shabbat. So thank you, Randy. Thank you so very, very much. Shabbat Shalom to you and happy Shabbat. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Randy Duenas. Thank you. And so, Randy, Presidential Monarchy, all the super chat, they're trying to actually go back in time. It's kind of like a quantum physics, like Star Trek or Twilight Zone. Randy, we're in the Twilight Zone here. The special counsel, one of the reasons that they had the Supreme Court, they wanted to ask the Supreme Court to expedite a ruling is because this is really important. They wanted to prove that Trump wasn't a president. He wasn't actually a president in the beginning of January. In the beginning of January, he was still president. So, Randy, thank you again. Thank you so very much. To the super thanks. Thank you so much. He was obviously still a president. And so they're trying to say he wasn't, and that's not going to work either. So, I mean, it's a huge, huge victory for Trump. And Trump's going to get another victory also regarding Colorado. I keep telling you, did I not tell you, ladies and gentlemen? Ex-White House lawyer says Supreme Court ruled 9-0 on 14th Amendment case in Colorado. The Colorado case is so it's another see, this is the thing. They don't understand every single thing they tried to do against Trump is going to backfire. Everything they tried to do, Pamela, thank you. Everything they tried to do is not working out because it's an absurd leap of logic. They're trying to make absurd leaps of logic. Okay? Hope 31, hello. They're trying to make absurd leaps of logic. They're trying to say that he tried to foment a rebellion. They believe that Trump, because other people were let in and the doors were opened and they walked just calmly throughout the building, but people in the front of the building engaged in criminal behavior. They're trying to say that Trump actually tried to overthrow the government. Again, you'd have to be a complete and utter imbecile to believe this. Okay? You'd have to be a complete imbecile to believe this. But that's what they believe. Or that's what, they don't believe it, but that's what they're trying to argue. So he did not engage in a rebellion, or he wasn't even a part of impeding an official proceeding of Congress. Okay? That wasn't Trump's stated goal or his intent at all. What happened was a terrible day. Demonstration got completely out of hand, and we still don't know Sacred Grove exactly. He's still president until the next president is sworn in. And so they're trying to say he wasn't president because he was giving a speech to Republicans or Trump voters. Like, well, that's all. You think Biden gives speeches to Republicans? He gives speeches only to liberal Democrats. Okay, and they're like two people in the Biden gives speeches to 5 or 6 people who happen to be lifelong liberal Democrats. So does that mean he's no longer president? I mean, it's like they make the most absurd leaps of logic. Brenda, thank you. And so the thing is, it's like this is like a football team. Max Deplorable 2A HA. Are you a real or an AI show? Happy holidays. Thank you. You know, can I tell you something about artificial intelligence? Max Deplorable, thank you so much. That's why I say, get off. Okay, everybody here, aside from my YouTube channel and the YouTube channels that you like, because YouTube is not a message-based platform. AI, of course, is part of the algorithm, okay? I am asking everybody to just get off Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Truth Social, Curus Comics, thank you. Hope 31, thank you. Everyone get off message-based platforms. Message board-based platforms, because artificial intelligence, algorithms, or AI have the greatest influence on an Instagram, your Instagram profile, or your Facebook profile, or your Twitter profile, or your Truth Social, or any type of social media. Just get off, aside from YouTube, because YouTube is like a glorified VHS. Laughing Dog, thank you. Oh, thanks for being helpful, guys, for this clown world. It is. All these years, Mr. Good. Thank you so very much, Laughing Dog. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Laughing Dog and Max Deplorable and everybody here, the reason I say this, thank you, Laughing Dog, greatly appreciated. Thank you for the kind words. The reason I say this, Max and Laughing Dog, everybody here, they're going to try, in my view, to get people fired from work, to get people, because you can write something about Trump and a coworker can try to, a coworker could take a screenshot or manipulate what you put on Twitter or Facebook and then send it to human resources or worse, or a law enforcement agency. Or anyone can do that. So I think everybody, especially in 2024, because what happens is, H-Toast, thank you. Tracy, thank you. What happens is the following. If you, let's say, for example, today, I don't have Twitter, I don't have Facebook, I don't have Instagram. But if I was on Twitter, I would say, the Supreme Court gave Jack Smith a tremendous, or let's say anybody can say, Lined Office, thank you. Gifted one, thank you. Thank you to my members. Thank you so very, very much. Barnes, gifted a membership by Pony Soldier. Thank you. Barnes, thank you so much. And Pony Soldier, thank you for gifting Barnes the membership. Greatly appreciated. Let's say, for example, Pony Soldier or Laughing Dog or Max or anybody here. Let's say you wrote on Twitter, on X, let's say you wrote, huge victory for Trump. Jack Smith loses again. Then Democrats 6 months from now, Flyboy, hello. Then Democrats 6 months from now could try to say, loses again is the code word, catchphrase, slogan, subliminal for the adjacent, very close type person. Free reign, hello. The nationalist, bigoted, horrible movement of very bad 1930s and 1940s Germans roaming around the country. And the fact that you don't like the special counsel means it correlates directly to them not liking the special counsel too. So therefore, we're going to have to find out who wrote that type of thing. Okay, I'm obviously giving the most absurd example, but all of these absurdities, it's like nothing is too outlandish. They will try to make the most absurd leaps of logic. The stupidest leaps of logic. Dean Diefendorf, thank you. Thank you, Dean. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated, sir. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and Happy Holidays. Thank you, Dean. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you. So that's all. I mean, my thing is, I'll get off that topic. I just think that the next year, I would rather everyone here start a YouTube channel than, and give your thoughts on the YouTube channel, because nobody can take it out of context. Because then you can just say, look, I'm reading from, the Hill, like, I'm doing here, I guess the AI, I was just thinking about the artificial intelligence and the way it's utilized, the way algorithms are utilized nowadays. You see, like, Trump is like actually destroying, he's like destroying an entire public relations monstrosity built on algorithms. Dean Diefendorf, thank you so very, very, very much. Greatly appreciated. And to my super thanks, thank you, everybody. But yeah, every single one of these, they're going to lose every attempt. And they actually don't care, by the way, if they lose. Like, they don't care. Dean, thank you again. They don't care. It's not like it's not like a football team or a coach that gets judged on losing or winning. There's even an algorithm on here as well, but um, they're going to lose every single attempt. They're going to lose on every single attempt to get Trump. Okay? But they don't care. So the 14th Amendment case with Colorado, that will be overturned by the Supreme Court. The presidential immunity case by the special counsel Smith, that was basically rejected. The convictions, he'll be convicted, those will be overturned, or when he becomes president with the D.C. special counsel that's part of the executive branch, that'll be overturned. The underlying reason that all of this is going to be a catastrophic failure for Democrats is that Trump didn't commit a crime. Conversely, Hunter and Joe did commit crimes. And it's not difficult to see. For free reign, hello. Barnes, hello. Pony Soldier, thank you again for gifting Barnes. Thank you. For free reign, thank you for being a member. I hope all is well. So, that's the thing. I mean, it is such a huge victory for Trump today. That's why I wanted to do, so he's up by 2.3 points, but actually it was 3.5 points the other day. So, see, the funny thing is, you're going to see how, okay, there are these polls that show Biden tied. How on earth is Biden tied or up? Who is saying, yeah, this economy is great as we're bracing for a stock market crash and recession? Okay, who is saying this? And then you have the 62% up. So, I mean, check this out. He's up over Biden by about 2 to 4 points. And he's up over DeSantis by around 50 points. There's really nobody that can stop Trump now. Exactly, for free reign, well said. The court just cannot decide that something happened that never happened. Exactly. I mean, they're going to have to, I was watching MSNBC today, so you don't have to. But Dean and everybody here, thank you again, Dean. And to the super thanks on this channel, thank you. Or super chat, thank you. When you look at what they're trying to do, they're trying to stop Trump. It's not working. Nothing is working for them. They are desperately trying to stop Trump. They are desperately trying to prevent him. They're trying to prevent him from even running. Okay? They know that he's going to defeat the Democrat. They know that people are not happy. They don't like what Democrats stand for. They don't like the economy. They don't like the foreign policy. They don't trust media. They don't care what Jimmy Kimmel says every night. Okay? And by the way, Jimmy Kimmel, his producers, all of these, Stephen Colbert, his producers, they're they're very likely breaking campaign finance laws. Because if there's any coordination with Democratic politicians, which there is likely, you're giving free advertising to the tune of hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars a year. Okay? Every single night you have Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, John Oliver, Stephen Colbert, Saturday Night Live. These directors and producers and writers and the talent is almost certainly coordinating in some respects with Democrats or Democratic staffers. Deanna, thank you. Thank you. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you so much. So, and he's still up. I mean, the man cannot be stopped. It's really amazing to see the momentum that Trump is It's really amazing to see. It really is. It's amazing to see that the entire American political establishment has united to stop one man, and it's not working because the voice of the people far more powerful. Like Biden, when he defeated Trump, needed every single possible human advantage humanly possible, and still it took weeks upon weeks. Okay, Trump has none of these advantages. No PhD, hello. Trump has none of these advantages. And he's still up. Padre Speaks! Great to see you live, AJ Badman. Give me Padre Speaks. Scotus will laugh those cases out of court. Keep up the great work. Thank you so very much. Padre Speaks! Greatly, greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. And I agree with you. I agree with you. They're going to laugh it out of court. I mean, the 14th Amendment one, this one too, they're trying to say he wasn't president when he was president. But the 14th Amendment one, where he didn't even engage, not only did he not engage in a rebellion, but the Federal Bureau of Investigation, even the Daily Beast, Bureau has found no evidence Trump or allies organized a rebellion. It was not coordinated. None of it was coordinated. Okay? None of it was coordinated. No evidence. Probably the best article the Daily Beast has ever published. They published a hit piece on me when I was a Bernie Sanders supporter, so. But this says no evidence. By the way, the Associated Press, Padre Speaks, and everybody here had the word no evidence. Dean, thank you again. Padre Speaks, thank you. The Associated Press, first, the headline, just to let you, the Reuters, okay, I think it was Reuters or AP. You know the original headline, ladies and gentlemen, was FBI finds no evidence. Then they used the word scant. Okay? They used the word scant because no evidence was too favorable to Trump, which is interesting. Daily Beast just kept no evidence. But the original headline for Reuters and AP, I believe, from what I remember, was no evidence at all. Then, of course, what happens? They changed it to scant evidence. Scant, you know. Born to raise hogs! Thank you! Thank you, Born to Raise Hawks. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, Janak. Hello. William, exactly. Born to Raise Hawks. Thank you so much. Born to Raise Hogs. I hope all is well. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you. Give everybody a heart. I'm gonna heart every single super thanks always. Thank you, everybody. Born to Raise Hogs, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Janak, Feliz Navidad. Thank you. So again, it's what they always do. They start off with a headline, it was no evidence. Then they say scant evidence and minute evidence, possibly something evidence. But there was really nothing. So there was no evidence at all. The problem is that there is such a mania regarding Trump. There's such a mania. There's such a obsession with Trump. They are absolutely, media and Democrats are obsessed with Trump. And they don't realize that they don't have anything against him now. There is nothing that they can say or do against Trump that anyone would even believe, much less that would influence anyone. Nobody would even, let's say, for example, tomorrow, the New York Times or the Washington Post or somebody came up with a report that said that Trump tried to sell the country. He actually tried. He actually tried to sell the country to the Kremlin or to Martians. And the Democrats would believe this because two people who were anonymous said that he tried to sell the country to aliens on Pluto or to Martians from Mars. William, thank you. They would believe it. Democrats would believe it. The rest of the world would not. There's nothing that they could do. They could have Senate hearings on Trump trying to actually sell the country to Martians. Carl Stevens! Carl, thank you! There's nothing that they could do. Now, there's just nothing that they can do. So, the way Democrats look at this is that, oh my God, who would vote for somebody indicted? I mean, he is a criminal. But the entire world knows that the only reason he's being indicted is because Democrats refuse to indict any Democrat for actual crimes. High-level Democrat, they refuse to indict. And they not only refuse to indict any Democrat, but they go after Trump for blatantly political purposes. So there's nothing like they can't say that that Trump is a criminal because Orange Grove 55, hello. They can't say Trump is a criminal because they commit crimes and everybody knows they're covering for their crimes. They had 50 intelligence officials lie about Hunter's laptop in 2020. They interfere every 4 years, then they blame Trump for interfering. Everything they accuse Trump of doing, they've done. They've actually done. So it's like it's kind of funny. I've never seen this before in my life. I don't think I'll ever see anyone like Trump. I mean, Tucker Carlson, Vivek Ramaswamy, they have this. There are a couple people, JFK Jr., you can't, Joe Rogan, there are certain people you just cannot cancel. You know, you just cannot cancel. You know, on a microscopic level, I'm kind of like that because when I was on the left, I got all these hit pieces written about me because I started voting for Trump. I voted for Trump after being a big Bernie Sanders supporter, but that didn't work. It only helped me. So if you don't care about what despicable people think of you, and you just are honest and genuine and you don't have an ulterior motive, nobody can really hurt you or cancel you in media. If you pretend like there's a whole bunch of people on the left that they make millions a year and they pretend they're socialists or communists, how are you going to make $1 million to $4 million a year? How are you going to make $300,000 to $400,000 to $500,000 a year, or $2 million or $3 million a year, and you're a communist or a socialist? How does that work? And why aren't you giving 80% of your paycheck to the government if you're a communist or a socialist? Because you're not really. There are no okay, if you're a wealthy communist or socialist or democratic socialist, you're not that, you're a capitalist. And you could be a Democrat, but there's no such thing as a progressive in this day and age. There's no such thing. The United States doesn't have a left. It has a Democratic Party. That's it. That's it. There is no left. There's no American left. There's the Democratic Party and any faction that the Democrats allow to exist. Okay? There's all these different like subgroups of left-leaning viewpoints on Twitter or Facebook. it's not, they're only around because Democrats haven't completely obliterated them through groupthink or, social peer pressure. Beverly, hello. Thank you, Beverly. So there's a lot of like different subgroups. So if you're on the left, I was on the left my whole life up until like about 6 years ago. If you're on the left and let's say you want Medicare for all, or let's say you want to free this country or that country, or let's say you want you don't like the Democrats, but you're gonna always vote Democrat because Trump is a big danger. Um, you're just a Democrat. You're just a liberal Democrat. There's no such thing as a progressive or a socialist or a communist uh, or even a Green Party person. You might belong to an organization on the left. You might believe or really want some kind of policy or really think a social issue is important. If it's not sanctioned by the Democratic Party, your viewpoint will not exist on the left. The conservative world, right of center, doesn't kowtow to media or peer pressure or euphemisms for the most part. So, for example, you'll have Twitch streamers on to the left of center who claim they're like socialists or communists or progressives or left-leaning pundits, but they're making 800, 900, 2 million a year. They're capitalists. They're not socialists. Okay? They're not giving 80, 90% of their paycheck to the government. They're advocating for greater taxes. They're doing everything possible to pay lower taxes. They're also only voting Democratic Party. Okay? There are people, I'm not going to, pick an argument, but there are people with different color hair, and they'll dye their hair green or white or whatever. And they'll say that they really want Medicare for all, and they'll really want this, and they'll really want that, and they don't like Trump. But at the end of the day, and they want a Green New Deal, and at the end of the day, they'll only vote Democrat. It's just one political party, the Democratic Party. So there is no left. The Democratic Party, the left is basically a socially liberal version of the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld Republicans. Okay, and then when you ask them, well, why did you fund a year-long conflict in Europe, but you don't want to fund an ally in the Middle East? Oh, well, that's different. That's only different because of the prevailing ideology. See, a lot of the people on the left in 2023 are talking about things they never talked about in 2016. That's because they'll just agree with anything that's popular. It's like their Twitter profile. They'll just put any icon. I mean, Elon Musk, brought this up. Any icon that says that they're good and moral, they'll just put on their profile. So whatever the flavor of the month or the year or whatever the zeitgeist is, they'll adopt. Conservatives or, conservative viewpoints on everything from immigration to the Second Amendment to foreign policy. Foreign policy has changed, though. Foreign policy is becoming a lot more populist. Okay, but that populism was still on the right or the conservative viewpoint, like against never-ending military conflict. Being against never-ending military conflict is now a conservative viewpoint. It used to be a liberal viewpoint. It's no longer a liberal viewpoint. So Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, they're all against endless military conflict. The left is not. So, and that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I wanted to do this really quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Huge, huge, huge day. I'll probably have an upload later this evening. So be here like probably around 10 or 10:30 or so. Maybe even earlier Eastern time. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. God bless you all. To the super thanks or super chat, thank you. You are all wonderful. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy holidays to everybody. And I'll try to do another live stream probably tomorrow or the next day. Check the channel often, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be doing a lot of videos in January and all throughout 2024. Mark on your calendar, November, every day in November, to be here in 2024 for the live streams. Old Farm Show, thank you. All right, everybody, thanks so much. God bless you all. I'll see you later tonight for the upload.